Hey, what's happening, everybody? I hope everybody's doing well. Man, I'm excited. I'm super excited. We're going to have a great call tonight. We're going to be talking, not that we ever have a bad call necessarily, but tonight it's going to be some stuff. It's going to be some cool meat on the bone. You guys are going to see some things that not a lot of people know, and I just thought it was pretty cool. I thought we'd share it. That's right. We're going to be talking about Acts chapter 29. No bother looking it up in your Christian Bibles because it's not there. It stops at 28. So, we're going to talk about that tonight. Good stuff. Yeah. So, bring your questions. Also, another thing we're going to be talking about is, we're going to be talking about, sorry, Donald. Send him away, by the way. We're going to be talking about the upcoming travel class. That's right. And I have, possibly, I have an officer. Well, I probably shouldn't even have said that. Well, anyway, I have someone that is an expert in the field that will be joining us possibly next week. And I'm going to tell you that this is not the first time law enforcement has attended my travel class. It happened a few years ago, and no arrests were made, and nobody went to jail. It was all good. And as a matter of fact, he was actually quite impressed and blown away. Not tooting my own horn or anything, but he was just kind of blown away that somebody would know this side backwards like that. So it really just undid a lot of his thinking. So it was really valuable. It was really good. We're going to get started here at 4 after. And right now my clock is reading 56 after. So that's when we're going to get started. We're just waiting for everybody to get on. So those are the things we're going to be covering tonight. There's definitely a reason why Acts 29 has been kept from us. And, tonight we're going to be talking about that. These glasses, they sit on my nose and they make it itch. But we're going to be talking about that tonight, and it's going to be a blast. So bring your questions. Not saying I'll have the answers, but we certainly have enough qualified folks here that can answer. So, and there's two ways that you guys can join us. You can join us here right now on Facebook, which is totally cool. Or you can call in. We have a 1-800 number. Actually, it's a 1-888 number that you can call in. It's completely toll-free. I pay the extra for it, so you don't have to. Don't worry about it. There's no clubs to join. You can dial it on any phone and any phone plan. Really, you could call from a phone booth and get on this call. No problem. So, and if you want to do that and maybe do a little bit more engagement with me, something more personal as far as, asking more questions, this would definitely be the avenue to do it. And if you want to do it, that number is 1-888-570-7020. We're going to get started, 6-7 minutes now. So we're going to get started in just a few minutes. So you know what? You guys got time. Go to the bathroom, water the dog, wipe the kids, walk the goldfish, do what you do, but you got time. And this discussion tonight is not something you want to miss out on. I know the elections are going on, and and the news is going boom, 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 back and forth. I know, and it's just so busy. Let me tell you something. That is just a bunch of smoke, and it means nothing. We're going to be talking about that. I'm going to address that tonight. Hold on, I'm going to fix this light. Anyway, so you might be asking yourself, where am I exactly? I'm in my office. That's right. And what do we do here? We help people. That's what we do. We help people. We just flat out help people. Yes, we help veterans, and we love our vets. We do. I have a personal attachment to our veterans, and it's private. Don't want to discuss it, but it's personal for me. I know what it's like to have your rubber band stretched, and maybe sometimes it doesn't come back completely. And what do you do from there? How do you deal with that? How do you cope with that? And a lot of our vets out there are coping with these very issues right now with no help at all, and they don't know what to do. Their families are suffering, they're suffering, everybody's suffering. You know what? And here at the House of Yah Community Outreach, that's what we do, is we help our vets. And really just anybody. It's not like I stop and say, oh, are you a veteran? Oh, he's not a veteran, and I leave. It's not like I do that. But we definitely do gravitate to our vets. I believe they've paid the greatest sacrifice, and I believe they deserve so much more than what they get right now. And so that's where my soft spot is for these guys. They didn't ask to see all that. Yeah, they got trained for it, but they didn't ask to see all that. You know? And anyway, I just want to welcome everybody that's on the call tonight. Like I said, we've got about 4 minutes. We're going to get started. 2 ways you can join. You can call on the Uber line. I did some upgrades around here. And hey, there you are. Anyway, I did some upgrades around here. I got a microphone, you know, like one of those Mr. microphones from back in the day. That's right. One of the computer microphones. So we could be a star, right? No, I did it just so that we could have just a little bit better sound quality. I know the guys were having a little trouble last week and the week before on the call. So hopefully this helps. This new computer really didn't have a built-in mic. So having this is going to hopefully circumvent that problem and take care of it. Anyway. So anyway, that's what we do here at the House of Yah Community Outreach. So in advance, I want to reserve all of our rights for free speech. I want to reserve all of our rights for freedom of assembly. And just want to let you guys know this is absolutely not legal advice because, well, legal advice is like sifting through oatmeal trying to find a turd. That's what legal advice is, yeah. Sometimes you end up leaving there more confused than what you walked into. You know, and I'm saying that sometimes. But anyway, this is definitely not legal advice. This is living advice. This is absolute living advice. So, and this travel class that's coming up on the 17th and 18th, this is based on stuff that I've personally done. This is based on events and actual court, discoverable court hearings that are out there. They're on file, so you can go look them up if you want to. You know, for those people that just have to have their proof right now, you can go look them up. And they're out there. They're public notice, so everybody knows about it. It's not a big deal. But I'm going to tell you guys, it's a powerful class. Knowing how to speak and what to listen for, and knowing what those qualifiers are, is sometimes all the difference between paying a ticket or serving a 35-year jail sentence. I mean, really, because the principles of it are just the same. I have seen people get DWIs because they were put together to do it. I mean, basically, hold on a second, I'm trying to mute my boy here. Hello, there you are. Okay. Anyway, what I was saying is that they tricked a friend of mine into saying that he was under the influence when there was no way they could actually test to prove that he actually was. Probation. For what? Because he didn't know how to speak. And you know what? Don't think that this stuff won't happen to you. Because those people are very dark. And they will scare you into things. They will use fear and coercion. Seriously. Think about how many times do you see on the news that some deputy had to use his gun in a courthouse. And look how strapped up they are when they go to work. But historically, just saying, it's called intimidation. And that's not a tactic of Yahweh at all. So, we've got about 1 more minute here. I'm trying to finish this cookie, sorry. I just got pulled in by some animal cookies today. It was really crazy. Anyway, tonight we're going to be reading out of Acts chapter 29. And I'm going to show you guys why they took that out of the Bible. Or my reason. Why I think they did it. So, we've got about 1 more minute. Oh, no, we don't. Everybody's here. Looks like everybody's on. Time to put the old spectacles on. Now, welcome everybody. Just welcome. Let me get things started here. Alright. I want to welcome everybody to the call. It is once again 6:04 on Monday, October the 12th. And today is the day Yahweh has made. Did you hear what I said? Not that Lord guy. Because, you know, Yahweh doesn't play Dungeons and Dragons. He doesn't play with castles and snakes and things like that. He doesn't do that. It's not his cup of tea. But he did make this beautiful day. And this day to be a light, just like this light behind me. If this light wasn't on, this room would be dark right now. And you know what? We walk into a lot of dark places, and Yahweh is that light. Yahweh is the giver of that light. That's going to be the light into your feet, and that's going to help you get through whatever you're going through right now. And I don't know what led me to tell you that right now, but I just feel like somebody out there needed to hear that right now. And if that's you, Yahweh loves you, man. He loves you so much. And He loves you more than you can love yourself. And that's what I've learned about Yahweh. He's pretty special. And you know what? He's so special, He even thinks I'm special. And I know if He thinks a dirtbag like me is special, then He probably thinks all you guys are super special. So, that being said, before we get started, let's just bow our heads and give thanks. We have a lot to be thankful for. A lot of feasts this month, you know? Let's bow our heads. Father in heaven, I just thank You for this day and this honor to be counted among Your people, amongst greatness. And I thank You for this opportunity that we have to come before You, to make ourselves right, to make ourselves ready, full of oil, and ready for You to come and join us. And I just pray, Father, that You just continue to bless us as You have. Help us do the things that we need to do this week. And please anoint this message, Father. And we pray this in Your precious holy name. Amen. Awesome. Hey, man, thanks for doing that with me. I appreciate it. It really helps me get started. And I know that there's a noisy fan in the background. So hold on a second. Let me get rid of this fan. Okay. Now we substituted the noisy fan for the noisy neighbor cutting the grass. So I hope you guys don't hear that. But he's definitely coming in through the side over here. It's crazy. Anyway, so let me get to my page here. What's going on, guys? How are we doing? What's happening in the world right now? A lot of confusion, you know? There's a lot of confusion going on right now. And, you know, who is the author of confusion? Does Yahweh go out to seek to deceive anybody? You know why? Because He didn't have to. And can I tell you, you don't have to either. It's simply your choice. And just as Yeshua told the Pharisees, they were trying to trick Him. They were trying to trick Him. And they told Him, they said, hey Chris, how you doing, brother? And they were really trying to trick Him and get Him twisted up into some stuff, into some legalism, okay? And get Him to kind of argue about something, like a lot of times it happens in churches, you know? Church members will argue with each other back and forth. And it doesn't matter what faith you are. They'll try to debate. They'll debate the period after a sentence just for the fact of debating it. And understand, that kind of nonsense doesn't come from Yahweh. So if you see these kinds of things going on in your church, you got problems, okay? You got serious problems. And it's always easy to see everybody else making that mistake. But when you pull yourself out of that situation, you start seeing how many mistakes you made. And I'm speaking from personal experience on this. So can I tell you, Yahweh is not found in a building. He's not found in a church. He's not found in a prayer cloth. He's not found in a donation. He's absolutely not found in any of that stuff. Hold on a second. He's absolutely not found in any of those things. So where is He? It's a private relationship. You know where your Christian Bibles will say trust in the Lord when it should say trust in Yahweh, but it says trust in the Lord, right? What does that mean? What is a trust? A trust is something that's private. It's a covenant. It's an agreement between two people to perform. That's a trust. And it's a private agreement. Not something you go beat on your chest on TV and tell everybody about. That's not a private. That's not a private trust. That's a public trust, and there's no such thing, because you can only breach the public trust. So, I'm just saying, listen to what I'm reading here tonight, and you're going to hear some things I hope that you've never heard before. And in Acts chapter 29, verse 10, he says, at the evening, at the Rahish, Hakidish fell upon Paul, which means the Spirit fell upon Paul. And he prophesied, saying, behold, the last days of the Messiah, Shalom, shall dwell in the cities and in the inhabitants thereof, and they shall be numbered. Hello? Behold, in the last days, before Yeshua is about to come back, okay? You shall dwell in the cities and the inhabitants thereof, and they shall be numbered. And the seventh numbering of the people, their eyes shall be opened, and the glory of their inheritance shall shine forth before them, and the nations shall come up to worship on the mount that testifies the patience and the long suffering of the servants of Yahweh. And it says in the latter, in verse 11, it says, that's a lot of information, huh? There's a lot of teeth on this, man, and I hope some of you guys are getting this right now, okay? So in the latter days, verse 11, the new tidings of Bashor shall issue forth, and I'm not going to go there with this word because it's really hard to pronounce. And in the hearts of the people shall rejoice, and behold, the fountains shall be opened, and there shall be no more plague. We're prophesying here, guys, okay? Verse 12. In those days there shall be wars and rumors of wars, and a king shall rise up, and his sword will be for the healing of the nations, and his peacemaking shall abide in the glory of his kingdom, a wonder amongst princes. Does that ring a bell, everybody? Nah, he's crazy, right? No, you're crazy. Look, they took this stuff out. And we were talking about, well, Donald Trump's not a king. Well, Donald Trump's part of a royal family, guys. And all of you guys that think that Biden's got half a chance out there, he doesn't even have that, okay? And here's why. It's a lockdown deal, guys, okay? We've had a royal family running this country since the days of George Washington, okay? And that was discovered by a 13-year-old child. Went on the computer, just did some checking. Even Obama, yes, even though he's gay and he can't have children, they did it. And this is, and it kind of, okay, and let me just explain something also. One of the biggest issues amongst royal families, historically speaking, is that they've always tried to keep their bloodlines pure, and they didn't want any other infiltrators coming in. But the problem is you can't procreate well. They thought they could procreate with each other, and as a result, a lot of those royal families came up with some really circus act looking children. And that just happens because of inbreeding. Like dwarfism happens because of inbreeding. No other reason. I don't care what the Lifetime Bra Burning channel tells you this week. It's what it is. It's a fact. When people's eyes do this kind of number and one's a little higher than the other, that's a byproduct of inbreeding. Okay? It's crossing chromosomes is what they call it. Whatever, man. It's inbreeding. It's sin, and it just happens. Okay? And I'm telling you, this king that's risen up right now, and they've tried to destroy this guy and everywhere. And no, it doesn't matter who you're voting for, okay? They've tried to destroy this guy. And he's like that blade of grass that keeps standing up. No matter how big the truck is that runs over him, he just keeps standing right back up again. And let me tell you something. That only happens by divine intervention. And let me tell you something. These demons know it. They absolutely know their time is short. They know the day is coming. And it's coming. And they're going to experience something that's like what we talked about last week about the harvest. Yeah. They're going to die the second death. What does that mean? That means that you don't spend eternity in hell being tortured or Sheol. That's not how that works. You're done. And it's over. Your family members, done. My family members, done. Because they rejected Yahweh. Because they rejected His truth. And there's all these people that are running interference So they're running interference to stop this from happening. I mean, look at all the crazy stuff that's happened, man. Do you not see that Yahweh is doing something? Do you not see that Yahweh is moving? Because He's moving. And He's moving just like He promised. Like, I'm going to read verse 12 again. It says, in those days there shall be wars and rumors of wars, and a king shall rise up, and his sword shall be for the healing of the nations. You hear me? The healing of the nations. Hold on, I got some people blipping in and blipping out here. Anyway, it says it's going to be for the healing of the nations, right? Do you know that right now there are nations that are chanting for Donald Trump to come and run their country? Do you know that? That's happening. No, it's not on the news. It's all over the internet. But it's not on the news because they don't want you to see that. They've got their subscribers, paid programmers, get their bills every month and stay sucked in and plugged into their TVs. So you're not going to see it on CNN. But it's happening. And this man has an amazing influence over the leaders of this world. And it says that he's a peacemaker. Do you know that did you know there's a treaty that's being signed right now by the Arab nations? Did you know that? And guess who drew it up? Guess who's rebuilding the temple right now? So can I tell you? It's over. And these doors are closing. And it could happen tomorrow. It could happen before I finish my next breath. Those of you guys that are watching this later, or even now, it could happen that fast. And this is why they kept this from this. This is why they didn't want it here. Because all you have to do is just absorb these words. In those days there shall be wars and rumors of wars. And a king shall rise up, and his sword shall be for the healing of the nations. And his peacemaking shall abide, and the glory of his kingdom a wonder among princes. People respect this dude, don't they? I mean, not people here. But you know what? Yeshua wasn't respected in his hometown either. History again repeats itself. Can I tell you? The door's closing. And those of you guys that are chasing your credit reports, and that's the number one thing in your life, or you're trying to build all these kingdoms here. You're making investments at work and just sleeping at home. Your kids don't know who you are. If that's you, when all this goes away, you're going to be like these parents that don't know what to do because they have to raise their children and teach them schoolwork. Once upon a time, that was something everybody did. But we've gotten away from that. We've gotten away from Yahweh's truth. You know? We've changed His Word. We've taken whole books out of the Bible. We've taken chapters out. We decided to change His name to Lord, and God, and other names that are not His name. You know, my wife and I have been reading through and looking through the laws, and there's a bunch of them. There's a really whole bunch of them. And the reason that there's so many laws and there's so many rules, on top of the 10 commandments, there's even more laws. And there's so many more laws because it deals in specifics. Oh, I was going to say the other one, but I couldn't say it. So it deals in specifics, okay? For example, we say we're going to sin against somebody, right? Or if I lie to you, then I sinned against you, right? Well, in Hebrew, that's called kata. And if I were to sin against, then that means I sinned against my brother. So, but if I broke the law and I sinned against the law, then I would do a katah. Okay? Which means I sinned against Yahweh. And let me tell you, the Hebrew language is extremely specific. I mean, if there's a breath of change in or definition in that word, it's expressed. And so it's done that way so that you understand, or you can stand over what is being said to you. Whereas in our language that developed much, much later, things are very generalized. Like when we say we love you, well, that can mean anything. If I say I love you, it doesn't mean I'm all right, I'll be over Tuesday, we're all going to be whatever, I'm not saying we're going to be doing anything like that. But it could mean that, you see. I mean, but you guys know me, so it wouldn't be like that. But I'm just saying, you realize without changing the words, it could mean that too. And so we've been basically taught a language of Babel, literally. And so this is why it's very important. And this is why it's important that we understand that we need to learn how to speak. And how do we learn how to speak? Let me tell you, Yeshua can speak, Yahweh can speak through anybody. His Rechu can, I think I said that right, can speak through anyone and can be there with you no matter what you're going through. And we've seen it a million times. We've seen it happen through our Bibles and Sunday school and everything else, right? Let me tell you, Yahweh has not forgotten his people. But unfortunately, his people have forgotten who he is. And they've got all these new names for him. And they've got all these other things. And now people are so twisted up, they don't even know left and right anymore. So how do we get right? How do we know if we're doing the right thing? Are you hearing from Yahweh every day? Then you're not doing the right thing. The proof's in the pudding, guys. When we read, when a believer and a follower of Yahweh reads the scripture, he does see correction. But in a lot of ways, he sees consistency in the way that his heart already wants to be. And sometimes we need that want to be so that we can get forward. And that comes by commitment. And I mean by making a real commitment that you're going to stick it out and that you're going to follow him. And that you're going to do it every day, no matter what. Even if your legs are on fire, you're still going to do it. Because that's how I had to put it out to him, I put it out to Yahweh that way. And, after a while, he believed me. Thank Yahweh. And he saved me. And he dumped this knowledge on me. Okay? It says, we read in here, behold, in the last days that shall dwell in the cities, and the inhabitants therefore shall be numbered. Wow. And their eyes shall be opened, and the glory of their inheritance will shine before them. Look at how many people's eyes are opening right now in America. And they're realizing this whole debt system. They understand the banking system. They understand all of these things that were just completely out of reach to the common man 20 years ago. And now, all the losers, all the people in the penitentiaries, this information is blowing up the penitentiaries right now. Why? Because of Yahweh's promise. Yahweh says that the last shall be first and the first shall be last. And just because society has considered them bad, doesn't mean that Yahweh doesn't have a special plan for them. And we got to be ready to receive that. And we're missing that, And can I tell you, this upcoming travel class that's coming up, it's dealing with these guys, man, properly. When Yeshua was taken up by Satan on the mountaintop, and he says, hey, man, I'm going to give you all this stuff, man, if you'll worship me, Sometimes when you get a little bit of knowledge, you can get a little too much knowledge and get yourself kind of a little bit twisted up. And can I tell you, Yahweh's the only one that's going to keep you grounded in this process. If your brain is exploding right now, and you're waking up, man, and you're figuring out about travel and driving and this driver's license thing and how this stuff works, let me show you the rest. Because the rest of it's going to be showing you remedy and how to protect yourself. So these people don't hurt you. So these people don't arrest you for nonsense. And if they do, there's remedy for you. And you know what? That's the best protection you can have. Because what do they use against you? A threat of money, right? If you don't do this, it's going to cost you this, and we're going to put you in jail and blah, blah, blah. Well, if there's a big pile of money waiting for you on the end of their bad decision, don't you think they might think twice about making that decision? I guarantee you they will. You know, and on a side note, I just want to give a special thanks to my brother Jeremy Burris out there. You threw me some really great information that I was totally praying for, and I just thank you for it, man. Thank you, I appreciate that. And you know, and that's what this walk is all about, man. This walk is all about that. It's about growing, man. Not getting up there and dancing for these people. Man, I already been there, done that, Chris. Remember? Yeah. And you know what I figured out? There is nothing on that stage that would replace the wholeness that Yahweh has given me in my life, the completeness that I have in my life. And I was up on that stage because I wanted that completeness. I had been rejected by everything, and maybe my music would be enough where people would accept me. And I was hurting. But you know, it's hard to write music now because I don't have anything to hurt about. It's different. And you know what? If you give Yahweh the chance to change you, He will. This upcoming travel class, actually I forgot to change the flag on the webpage. And our webpage is houseofyahcommunityoutreach.com, by the way. And that's YAH. As in Yah. So anyway, if you guys want to sign up for the class, I forgot to change the flag to 300 because we have more information than we did back when we did that 250 class. But you know what? I left it at 250. Come take the class. Man, that's cheaper than a lot of tickets, man. And I'll tell you what, the class is totally worth it. You're going to enjoy it, and you're going to leave that class knowing who you are, what you are, and how to walk, and how to talk, and be effective at it. That's hard to do. It's not many people can say that they've been able to make a sovereign stand of any kind and not get tased or abused or beaten or anything like that, you know, or retaliated against, you know, for some reason. And can I tell you that Yahweh is good, and He's good at doing all this stuff, man. He's been doing it a long time, and He's certainly not quitting anytime soon. I'm just looking through some more of this, and I just want to see. And also in Acts 29, I forgot to tell you guys this. Did you guys know that Paul went to Spain? Didn't know that, did you? So there must be somebody over there in Spain that they don't want to know that Yeshua was over, or that Paul was over there preaching and teaching. So I don't know. Maybe if you know somebody over there, you could ask them or share it with them. But you know, one of the sins that I saw when we were looking at one of the rules under blasphemy was saying that you live this life when you don't. And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of people that meet on Sunday mornings in buildings that proclaim this, that proclaim that they are doing it, man. And they're not. They're claiming that they're following the law and they're following the Torah, but they're not. And in the eyes of Yahweh, that's blasphemy. Go back to Revelation when it starts talking about the dragon coming out of the sea, and it says that they saw blasphemy across on their heads and over their faces. That's what they saw blasphemy. Well, what is that? That's that righteousness of saying, hey, I'm up on top here, when really they hadn't even gotten on the horse yet. Sad. Sad deal. You know, and we're learning right now about the feast. And we have a wonderful set of believers that we've hooked up with, believe just like us, here in San Antonio. And they are just a fantastic group. And eventually, we'll be live streaming some of their services on Saturday. So you'll be able to hear and participate. I may be asked to speak. And if that opportunity comes available, then we'll definitely be shooting it on Facebook for you guys to check it out for sure. Can I tell you, Yahweh's good? Can I tell you that His love never ends, no matter what happens? No matter what's going on in your life, no matter where you are in your life right now, Yahweh is there for you. And we just have to be ready for Him. And that's just how it is. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close it up for tonight. If there's any questions or comments, this is the time to ask. Love to hear from you guys. I'm going to turn down the music, which I meant to do earlier. Alright, I hope everybody can still hear me okay better. I'm really sorry I forgot to turn that down earlier. I just got the babbling. So, if there's any questions or comments, anybody in Facebook land, feel free to just tap them out at the bottom there, you know. Got the reading glasses on so I can see. Those of you guys that are on the Uber conference board, just press star to unmute. And those of you all that have a video feature that is available on your phones, you can now see me through the Uber conference board. There may be a link that I may have to send to you, but I just know that everything is turned on and we can do that now, which is pretty darn cool. So, you know, if that's something you guys want to do, that's cool too. Anyway, any questions, comments? Nobody? Hey, Tom. Welcome, brother. I'm glad you're here, man. It's good to see you. You know, when the show is over, what you got left is you and your family and the stuff that really matters, you know? I mean, the stuff that really matters, like the long-term stuff, you know? And can I tell you, that's the stuff we need to focus on? Not this other gift wrapping that we do throughout our lives and throughout our days. Sometimes we're serving our masters more than we're serving the master, you know? And you know what? It's that time. The Bible says that there's going to be people that are free men. There's going to be people that are bond slaves. There are people that are, you know, that are total slaves. And you know, we have that. That's all relevant today. So, all right. It doesn't look like we have any questions or comments from anyone out there. But I want to just tell you guys, download a copy of the Sefer. Okay? If you guys really want to read if you really want to understand the scriptures, download the Sefer. Read it. And it shows little flags on everything. It's called the Sefer. That's what I'm reading out of, Tom. So, Tom asked a question a second ago. It's, no, it started with a C. C-E-P-H-E-R. Or C-E-I-P-H-E-R. Something like that. Anyway, you'll search it. You'll be able to find it. I recommend that you buy it. Get a copy of it. Because it's very expensive. They're very hard to get. And if you're like me and you're on a budget, you can download the app. And that's what I did. I downloaded the app. So, you know, and if you really want to see, the word Bible is actually kind of a pagan term. We've adopted that, but it should be called the Scriptures or the Torah, or if you want to say the manuscripts. I mean, just to be whatever, but definitely not a pagan Bible by any means. This is not one of those. So I'm learning that there is a difference, and there's a real difference from all this stuff, and so glad everybody's here. But we really, really need to collectively pull our lives together, because what if your bank closed tomorrow? What would happen? What would you do? Would you lose it? Would you worry? Would you worry if you knew that Yahweh was standing right there next to you? That's the real question. Would you worry about that? Probably not, right? Well, can I tell you? He doesn't just make special appearances. I mean, he really shows up like on a regular, as long as we show up. And I want you guys to consider that this week, please, all of you. Those of you guys that are interested in taking the upcoming travel class, if you have any questions, send me an instant message. Some folks are a little shy about doing. Thank you, brother. Some people are, a little shy about asking questions because this is humbling. It's hard to come to terms with the fact that somebody's been lying to you your whole life, and they told you that, Acts had 28 chapters when it had 29 chapters, and look who it's talking about in there, and look who's in office right now, and look at all the things that are happening right now. So with all of these things happening, we have to be aware that the sign of the times is coming. And the show, it's almost over, guys. Those of us that have been walking around with microphones for years and entertaining the public, we better start serving Yahweh. Because if we're not serving Him, there's only the other option. Yeah. So we got to get right. And how do we get right? Ask for help. If I can pray for any of you, if any of you would like to meet with me separately on a FaceTime call and you need some prayer, please hit me up anytime. I'm happy to do it. If you guys are having problems with your legal stuff, I can't tell you I have all the answers, but I'll listen to you. And I might know somebody that can help you. And here's what I will also do for you. I'll pray for you. And that's the most powerful thing that you can do. I don't care what you're facing. It doesn't matter what you're facing. Yahweh is faithful, and He loves His people, and He loves you. And I can't say that enough. I really can't. And I'm so happy that I saw something today, and I read something today to you that I've never read to anybody in public before. And some of you heard these words for the very first time. I invite you to pray over those words. Remember those words. Seek Yahweh, and He will show you the clarity in what you need to see right now that's going on in your life. Whatever you're facing right now. It doesn't matter how big it is. It doesn't matter how big you think it is. When I was a contractor, my partner and I we had a good friendship, and we used to listen to this lumberjack song, and it was a kind of a rock song where they had a chainsaw that actually soloed in lieu of a guitar. It was kind of a funny song, but the lyrics were, "I'm a lumberjack, baby, and I'm gonna cut you down to size." And Yahweh is the ultimate lumberjack. Yahweh is the one that will stand in place. And not only has His Son taken the hits for you already, but Yahweh's even already forgiven you. All you gotta do is grab that golden ring and take that gift and let Him live in you, and He'll change your life. Look at my pictures of who I was even 3 years ago. I don't even look the same anymore, man. That's the kind of change. If you want this country to change, that's the kind of change that will change this country. That's the kind of change that will move governments into a realm of righteousness rather than deception and smoking out the public. If you want transparency in your government, put people in there that can. Get a system that's accountable, that works. And if the royal family doesn't want to listen, we should probably look and see what France does about that sort of thing. Because France does a pretty good job of keeping their government in check. Just throwing that out there. But we have to bring all things to Yahweh. We don't bring them to a cross. We don't bring them to an altar. We don't bring them to anything else but just Him. Why? Because the Messiah has already done it. He's already paid all the prices. He's already cashed all the lottery tickets. It's all done. All the raises that you're supposed to get at work, you know what? Those are already there. The promotions that you're going to get afterwards, those are already there. It's a matter of, are you going to follow Him, Or are you going to go and push that little turd around in your backyard? And that's why this country is out of step. We've rejected Yahweh completely. We've rejected His Torah. We don't do His feasts. We don't do what He says. And then we go around and lie to each other and say that we do. That's not going to cut it, guys. And I knew it wouldn't cut it for me either. I'm not judging you. Yahweh will judge you. But what I'm telling you is that I failed. And I fixed it. And if I can fail and I can fix it, if you're failing, you can definitely fix it. And today is the day to do it. And I hope you guys can have some time to do that. And I know I've probably babbled on long enough, but I just want to leave you guys on that note tonight. I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. I pray that Yahweh blesses your homes and all the people that you come in contact with today, tomorrow, and until next week. So I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed week. God bless everyone. Good night.